Hello everyone, welcome to Joe and Zach Survival. Fishing season is open for this year and Zach and I are down to one crayfish trap. Crawfish if you're in the south, crayfish if you're in the north, whatever with the comments. Anyway, it's time that we make some new traps. So we're going to go through how to do it because we got several comments on the crayfishing video wondering how to make them. So we're going to go through it step by step. Okay, so what we did here is I went and I bought hardware cloth, and this is 36 inches high and it's 5 feet long, so 60 inches long. And now this is 1/4 inch squares, and the first traps that we made were 1/2 inch, and you really should make them out of 1/2 inch, and I could have got it cheaper. But I kind of had my head up my butt and couldn't really remember. I should have watched my video prior to that because this is going to work just fine. But what the problem that's going to come in is minnows are going to get in here and not be able to get out. So we're going to have to deal with that, but that'll be kind of fun. But anyway, this is what I bought, and this will work out perfect because the sizes we're going to use, we're going to change the trap a little bit so that it'll accommodate the size of the wire mesh itself so that we don't have a whole lot of waste.
Alright everybody, so when we roll this out, it's going to be 60 inches long. And to make a 9-inch circle, you need 30 inches of material. So we're going to cut this exactly in half.
Should we move this way just a little bit?
Squares.
Right there.
Okay, I got it marked
Okay.
with my finger.
This is going to be really great.
So you don't ruin the camera shot.
Alright, there you go.
Alright. And you know, instead of... Which one? This one?
Yep.
Okay. And instead of using these ones, I might have found some better ones. King Kong.
That will work better.
Alright, so this one.
Okay, now we've got to cut the 30-inch way. That'll give us a 9-inch circle. Now the other traps that we had were 24 inches long, but I'm looking online and you can buy the 18-inch and the 24-inch. And since this is 36-inch material, let's do the 18 because, let's be honest, with all our crayfish trapping, we caught one crayfish. I think that can fit into an 18-inch. But by cutting it that way, we'll get 4 pieces out of the first roll. And now, when I look online, the cheapest that I can find for a crayfish trap is $12.99. Then you have to pay for shipping. I paid $4.98 for each one of these 2 rolls. So we have, you know, about $10, a little more with tax, into what we have right here. Okay, so once we get that part done, now we cut these at 30 inches because we had a 60-inch piece of metal. So we're going to want to cross over 5 holes, which is nice because you have something to put the wire to. So just, I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but go over 5 holes, and then we'll take and we'll just run wire and wire these so we have a nice round cylinder.
And I did both sides first. That way I have 5 and 5, and then I can go through and do the rest, and I know it'll be straight.
Now when you do this, you don't have to have them, you don't have to wire it all that close together. Like Zach just pointed out, all it has to do is hold the crayfish. And they're not ripping this thing apart. Alright everyone, well welcome back. Zach's not here right now. We had done what we were doing that night and it got to be late, so now I'm continuing a little bit here. And he might be back before the video is done, I'm not sure, but I just wanted to continue on. And so now we have to make the cone for in here. When we go across here, I'm running a 9-inch hole here. So basically what we want to do is cut a 9-inch half circle. But make it a little bit bigger, like a 9.5 inch, because you're going to want some room so it overlaps a little bit so you can fasten it. But I already cut one of these out, but what you would do is just make a 9-inch circle, half circle, and just run it like this and run your thing up and mark it all the way across and go all the way through. That'll give you your half circle like this. You're going to do it, for me I do a 2-inch hole in the center. Some people say do an 1.5-inch hole in the center, but I just do a 2-inch, so of course we're going to want to do a 4-inch circle like so. Anyway, you'll end up with something that looks like this for a template, and then when you bend it, and if you actually look at it, if you can go online and look this up, and they'll give you the exact mathematical A plus B equals this here, and it ends up kind of looking like this at an angle, so they overlap. You don't really have to worry about that. All this is going to do is go around like so and form a cone, but you make it just a little bit bigger so that you got something to fasten it to. I mean, it's easier if you overlap versus butting it together. And then this cone then would fit inside the hole here, and we'll do one for each side. Okay, so once we have the template that's cut, we're just going to transfer it onto our metal, our mesh, and then we're just going to mark it right along here so that we can cut it out. And believe me, when you do this, it does not have to be perfect, because once you stick it in there and you're trying to get that metal part, you know, everything to connect and everything, you'll have to trim some stuff, and in the end it'll all work out. Alright, I got it all marked out. Now I'm going to cut it. Now, like I told you guys, make your circle a little bit bigger. My template was not, because that was a practice one, but then it kind of came back to me what I'm doing. So I'm just going to cut mine just a little bit bigger, just outside the lines. Okay, so here we have our cone, and when we fasten it together, we get the perfect cone. Now I'm looking in here. Remember, you can trim this up. It isn't perfect. Alright, so we definitely want to test this out to make sure you got the right size. So we make our cone. See if it fits in there. This part looks real good. Once this is together, it will give me a nice little hole. And remember that, you know, if it doesn't look, this is going to be really, really close to centered, because this is a good way to do it. But if it doesn't, who cares? The crayfish don't give a crap. They're trying to get in there and get something to eat. That'll work perfect. So now I'm going to make, since I have 2 traps that are going now. I want to make a total of 4, but we're just going to concentrate on the 2. I'm going to make then 3 more of these. Alright, so now all we're going to do is we're going to wire the cone together on the edges. Okay, the first cone is done, and as you can see, it's a perfect cone. We're going to drop it in like this. Made it a little bit longer so it sits all by itself. And you can do one of 2 things, or you can actually do both things. You can take and cut this just a little bit, like so. And then actually take and bend the metal over the edge. And it does 2 things. You don't have them sharp edges poking you. Holds it nice, and then we'll just get a couple wires on there. And I know I spent a lot of time on the cone part of this, but when you guys go to make your own crayfish trap, the cone, I mean the cylinder was easy. The cone is going to be the part that's going to throw you for a loop. So now, I mean, it threw me for a loop, and I already made these before. So if you're doing it for the first time, it's nice to be able to see that done. Yeah, you're in kind of some detail. all my edges are bent over, and although you don't really need it, I'm going to throw a few wires in here just to make sure it holds together in case you get some strong current or something, or I don't know. Just want to make sure it sticks together. Alright everyone, now you're just going to have to repeat to do it on the other side. Make yourself another cone. Alright, well, our trap is just about finished here. We got our cones in. You can see it looks real good. The only thing left we have to do is make a door. And to do that, it's much easier to not just cut out the piece and reuse the same one, but just cut a whole separate piece so that you can overlap it. And with the rest of the trap, you know, you're not really touching any of it because there are sharp edges and stuff. But with this one here, you kind of want to fold these edges over if you can, because since your arm is going to be going in and out of here, it's kind of nice to get a little bit of those sharp edges out of there. Okay, center that on here. And of course this is not on the side that you did this, it's on the whole, in fact I'm going to go completely on the other side of that. There we have it marked. Now we're going to want to cut it in, you know, quite a ways further than what was marked. I got the hole cut. Now again we're going to want to bend these edges, but not all the way to the line where your door is just going to fall right in there. So just make a couple cuts, but stay shy of your line that's marked on here. Once again, bend it in. All you're worried about is yourself. You don't care about the crayfish or crawfish that are getting in there. I got everything bent around now, so I have no sharp edges around here. Now the door is going to go right over like this. And once again we're going to come from the inside out with our wire. Alright, the door is on. Hinge is nice. Now for the latch for the door, I like to put a longer piece of wire on here. If you have a short one and you have to undo it, you'll lose it every time. So I just put on a longer one, and it doesn't take much to hold it shut. They're not like they're going to be trying to get out. And then just do something that you can feed through and then pull up through again. Like so, and then you can just pull it, give it a little bend, and we're good. Nothing getting out of that trap. And one more thing we have to add. We have to add something that you can hook your rope onto. Alright, there you have it. One homemade crayfish trap if you're in the north, crawfish trap if you're in the south. And once Zach gets home, we have 2 more of these to make out of what we had, and I'm going to hopefully get this in the river this weekend and see how it works. Alright everyone, well, I finished 2 of the traps. I'm going to wait to do the other ones until Zach gets back. And now I'm just going to tie some strings on here, and I'm going to head for the river and see if they work. I went to the store and I got chicken livers because a lot of my comments have said chicken livers work really good. We're going to give that a try. There are a lot of other suggestions also, so if this doesn't work, I'm going to try some of those. But for right now, we're going to get these in the river and see if we can catch some crayfish. Thanks a lot for watching the Joe and Zach Survival Channel. Maybe we'll try over by that tree over there, and then should be a little bit less current. Remember, we caught a lot of them right in here too.
Yeah.